If you wanted to start content but you don't know where to start, this is the video for you. Today, I have a mini series called Up and Coming where I talk to different creatives across social media that build their platform on their personal brand. Today, we have Adrian Per. You might know him as OMG Adrian on social media, where he deep dives into filmmaking 101, content creation, and even last year, he created a piece of content every single day for 365 days. So I'm ready to get diving into that episode. We filmed this last year, last July of 2024, and I'm just now getting around to sharing these types of episodes. So we'll be doing these episodics probably like maybe for the next month just to test it out, see do you like this kind of content, and if you do, I would love to take this even further than the platform that it's currently on, which is on Zoom. So let's get right into the video.
Yo, what's up? It's Adrian Per, and you are watching Up and Coming.
The point about this whole interview series is basically for creatives by creatives. I just started this little interview series back in COVID, did like 2 episodes, went nowhere. But one of the 2 episodes that I did was a guy that is currently playing Michael Jackson on Broadway right now. And I was like,
Oh,
well,
that's
shit,
sick.
like if I can do that, let's go ahead and just talk to these creatives that we know and love so that they can kind of like get out their shell, know that like at one point, the people that they watch now is at the point that they are probably at. So really just getting rid of imposter syndrome, like really like amplifying the community is the point.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm excited.
Absolutely. You have managed to create content for 365 days straight.
Yeah.
Did you batch content create, or was that kind of like, I got it all the way up to a month and then we're going to just figure out how things happen? Like how did you get to that space?
That's actually so funny. You see this big old calendar back here? I was actually filming how I stayed ahead. Um, in terms of batch creating, I did not film more than once a day.
Mhm.
And because there's so much movement in the content that I create,
Mhm.
it takes probably a couple hours for me to film, and like I would just stay ahead of it by time blocking. Before I posted my first post on January 1st of
Yeah.
2023, I started the planning process and the filming of November 2022.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, my first videos that I recorded were in November, finished them in November. By December, I had about 4 to 6 weeks of content ready to go every single day.
Yeah.
And when that January 1st hit, I just posted, and I didn't know where it was going. I just
Yeah.
knew that um at the top of 2023, I wanted to be 100% like
Mhm.
fully in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So like, I mean, 365 days of content, like at some point you're gonna hit a roadblock in those creative ruts. Like I feel like it's basically our brain like low-key squaring up on us to be like, okay, chill out. Like, why am I on overdrive? What kind of motivates you to keep creating, like especially on the days that you feel least inspired? Because I know I find myself like constantly in that space and having to pull myself out. And sometimes it's days on end. Like how do you do that?
Honestly, it was easy for me. Not in terms of the execution of it, but
Yeah.
I don't look at content creation as one, like it was just like my silly little side project. It was just I felt like creating and expressing yourself, they're 2 different things. But I think when you express yourself through what you create, you feel
Hmm.
something new every day.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I made was based off of a feeling. I did some tutorials, and those tutorials, even then, are based off of what do I feel like making.
Right.
I think when your plan is rigid and you say, I need to hit X amount of shoots a week, or I need to make sure I hit all these points in the types of content that I want to make. Like, what buckets do I want in categories do I want to put the different types of content in? That's exhausting.
Right.
I'd never thought that way. I just was out there, like, I don't want to say aimlessly making things, but I was experimenting a lot.
Yeah.
And, I think just going into it, I don't want to say not planned, but
Mhm.
less rigid than how a lot of people would look to attacking um making that much content. it actually
Right.
helped me like not feel burnt out at all. And I'm not going to say there were days where I felt like I wanted to make something. You know, there were days where I was like, ah, I don't really feel like doing this today, but I'm super hard headed. If I say I'm going to
Yeah,
do something, I'm going to do it.
I feel that.
But what really helps was just like the how I looked at it mentally. I never looked at it as I gotta go create content. I
Right.
looked at it as like I get to go create content. I get to go express myself through this medium of video. And yeah, that's helped me throughout. I
No,
mean, from to this day, like I've had a camera. I've been a professional in this industry for man, well over 10 years. So
yeah.
that's helped me well prior to me putting out my own personal work.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of homework well before this Zoom interview, and like I think I stumbled on a video that was like 12 years ago, like music video-esque style, and I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely circa 2012. I mean, the snapbacks and the vibes, it was just really a blast from the past. And so
Oh man.
on that note, like I feel like from that moment to now, like you have three different brands essentially. Like you have your production company,
Mhm.
um, you have OMG Adrian, and you have I think we're foodies, which is my favorite page. I'm not gonna lie. I love couple
Thank you.
content, and I love the way that
Thank
you and
you.
your girl kind of like just have your own things individually, but you also have that thing together. Um,
Yeah.
how is it managing three different brands? Like, do you feel like you have to be like three different people sometimes, or is it just really based off of the feeling that you have?
When it comes to the production company, that's work. That's just like my
Right.
job. I love it. I'm very grateful that I get to do that.
Hmm.
Um, for my own personal brand, it's just a representation of me, or well, the
Yeah.
representation of me that I want people to see online, that I allow them into. So that's pretty easy to like mitigate like how that's perceived.
Hmm.
And with the food thing, that shit, we both love eating. We
Yeah.
both
I mean,
in
that's it.
our
That's sick.
and like our friends always ask us like when we're out here or when y'all go there, like where should we eat at?
Hmm.
And we just gave it a shot, and that's not something that we see as like being this huge thing. Like we just do it for
Right.
fun. And who knows where any of these things that we do for fun end us up. Like
Exactly.
even my production company, like that started out for fun as a
Hmm.
silly little idea. And that's my day job. So
Right.
yeah.
No, that's sick. And do you ever feel like in that space, like I've burned out. I need to take a second. Like
Mhm.
I feel like mental health is so important as a creative because
Yeah.
you really need to lock in and figure out and do check-ins on yourself before everyone who's expecting content from you can kind of check in on you. How do you like leverage when you feel like you're really like down, separate from creating, like in a creative rut, just Adrian? Like how does that
Yeah.
make you feel?
Well, I've been lucky and I guess unfortunately to have gone through a lot of adversity in life.
Hmm.
Everything from losing best friends or a parent or just everything you could possibly imagine, right? I
Yeah.
think I've had the incredible experience of being hardened through how I was raised and the things
Hmm.
I've gone through.
Hmm.
So I've learned a lot of methods to cope with just what's going on in here.
Right.
I've done therapy before. I've learned a lot, just like how to best keep myself in a just like a proper state of mind, in a healthy state of mind.
Hmm.
Um, and I just practice that. It's like
Yeah.
I dang, it's so far removed, but when I first started out, like it was tough. It was really tough, but like just actively practicing like gratuity,
Hmm.
um, and just letting feelings like come through and not push them away.
Right.
I know it's like a super masculine thing to not feel things, but that works against a lot of men's detriment.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'm just like in such a I've practiced so much now
Yeah.
through just like these little repeatable things that help me mentally that like I can't even put my headspace as to like what was it like back then. I don't even remember. I think it's just
Right.
so far compartmentalized. Like even the terrible things that happen, like
Hmm.
I feel I don't want to say unaffected, but like I've just been so calloused by everything.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that. And I appreciate you sharing that because it's not easy, especially as a creative who has some traction and people are watching like your every move now to be really vulnerable in that space. And it's important when more people speak up about it, they start feeling like, okay, I can express myself this way and I can push past these things and let the things in life that have created some adversity kind of fuel that so that I can be better than where I was. So
Oh, for sure. Like all the adversities that I've been through in my life is absolutely the reason why I'm at where I'm at in life.
hmm.
Like everything from having
Sweet.
your back pushed up against the wall to having nothing to couch surfing, all of that. That's why I say, like, you know, I'm very grateful to have experienced those terrible things. Like, I
Right.
don't think I'd be here without it.
They say that the best storytellers always been through a story themselves. So I wholeheartedly believe that. I have these plant gnats, so excuse the little thing
It's
that's
all
just
good.
flying off. My dad has a similar kind of story of kind of growing up in that kind of adversity space. So I have lived through his experience, thankfully, but I do appreciate not being able to have to like experience it fully myself. Especially people that also have experienced it in some different facet as well also like um, but with you kind of going into that space of like, all right, a lot's happening. I'm gonna make something for myself. I'm gonna make a name for myself. I don't know which way it's going, but I'm gonna make it work. I know a lot of people when they are getting in their creative space, they find their style. Do you feel like you are the multiple angles and the thick cut font style creative that I feel like everyone thinks that's Adrian style. I can't do it this way. Like what are your thoughts on that? I feel like people just have their own vibe and people mess with that and they follow the creative in their journey.
I I don't take any credit for any of the things that I do online. I think it's funny. I actually just posted this little clip from a podcast that I did that spoke exactly about this.
Really.
Um, yeah, I just posted it this morning, and yeah, everything is inspired from something, as you know that, and
Hmm.
like we all say that, and a lot of my style online just came from the limitations that I had, just me and a tripod.
Yeah.
Um, just came from the things that I like. I
Mhm.
don't think anything that I do is necessarily original. I think what brings the originality is like me in it, whether it's like the music choice or how I
Yes.
speak to how I dress.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think people tend to think I have made this look on Instagram or
Mhm.
TikTok or wherever it may be, and I appreciate it.
Mhm.
It's flattering, but um man, Quentin Tarantino. I got that big, bold, blocky yellow font from him. Casey Neistat taking, vlogging, multi-angle vlogging and continuing his lines like in
Mhm.
different parts of his home. Like that's from him, going from a voiceover to dialogue on camera comes from Martin Scorsese. Like I just blend everything that I like
Right.
from people that I'm fans of.
Right. That's a fact, that's important when you're starting your brand is not to look at other creators and try to replicate, but figure out what's your own unique voice. So I appreciate that, and you kind of breaking that down. Last two
Yeah.
questions. For anyone starting to pick up a camera today, whether it's an iPhone or a Sony or a
Mhm.
Canon, what would you tell them to do first in their creative journey?
That none of the gear matters. uh, no camera, no computer will whatever piece of technical equipment will make you a better storyteller.
Hmm.
We've been fans of movies and TV shows and books where the technical ability might be lacking, but the story that it tells we're connected to. And as
Hmm.
humans, like that's all we need, whether it's
Right.
through a movie or through music or it's all based on a feeling. you got to be able to understand the different parts of a story, how to keep people's attention, how to, create tension within a story,
Mm,
um, just how to give it a climax and an ending, a resolution, how to do a good hook.
yeah.
It's just like crafting an essay, like
Yep.
you're everything from that hook to your thesis statement to that the end of that intro paragraph is so important.
Right.
And then just take me on an adventure, in the middle where the plot is.
Yeah. No,
Like
that's a
I don't
fact.
want to know the entire story immediately. I think that's and there's no amount of good cinematography that will hide that.
Mm, hmm your short films, like your short film contest. I think I missed the first one about the hometown, so a little schedule. But I am excited
It's all
about the one
good.
that you have now, I think, or recently. I love
Yeah.
that you're telling people like 60 seconds, like just film what you have and like talk about it and let's
Yeah.
look at it together. And I love that you're just kind of pushing the community to just get out there and like start. So my last question for you is
Mm.
if you had one piece of advice for any creative, beginning or expert, what would it be?
Something along the same lines. Like I really think that expression, I don't look at content creating as this mundane, factory process, this manufactured thing. I think a lot of people want to churn things out to feed the algorithm. And depending on how well it does, they define that as what makes them successful or not.
Mhm.
Just doing things is there should be the gratification in that.
Yeah,
Um, there should be just so many people hold themselves back from just even trying. So if you're trying, like pat yourself on the back. You
right.
get 5 views, you get 50 views, you get 500,000 views. Like treat the product that you make with the same care, with the same the same thankfulness. Like we're, everybody, I don't know what anybody's going through in their lives, but we're blessed to be able to have the will to even create things. Some people wish they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I just like looking at the glass like half full all the time, even if that glass is 5% full, like, hey, there's something in there.
Right.
A big thing that I say is like, I don't have to create today. I get to create today, whether that is a hobby or a job that I'm being hired for. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so and I'm not trying to gaslight people into, like, look, your life is better than a lot of people whose isn't,
Yeah.
but just like being grateful, man, being grateful that you get to learn and try things. Because, man, like we take for granted um, all the things that we have every day out here in this country. And,
Mhm.
just to have a camera and create, like, you're going to let, like, you not getting the amount of views that you think you deserve affect you? Nah, like you shouldn't. You're making something. Be happy that you can do this.
That's so real. That's the end of the official interview. I really appreciate your time, Adrian. Thank you
All
again.
good, all good. I'm happy to do this. Like anytime I could talk to, whether it's students or a show or, however I could best support the creative community in any way, like I'm there.
I appreciate that. I have my production manager reach out to your management company, and I was like, honestly, this is probably our biggest one, that our biggest ask at this moment, and it's okay either way it goes. So it's refreshing to hear that even with your um, where you're at in your creative journey and just the way that you're elevating, like you're still caring about the community, and that's what I want
For
creatives to see
sure.
this.
I I remember what it was like being like 19 and with my little Canon T2i and you know not being paid attention to or just like I try to ask questions and it was so gate kept. So like who am I to perpetuate that? And I remember I think your production manager had reached out to my management. Like I wasn't in town. I think I was in France, but I was
Mm,
like, I would happily do this. I just if I'm in like, can we wait till we get back in town?
for sure.
So yeah, I'm always willing to make things work when I
No, I
can,
get
you know.
that. I get that. I'm starting to get on your level a little bit. I'm actually flying out to Phoenix to film some WNBA stuff for the All-Star thing. So I am,
That's fire. You see that they locked in that big deal?
yes.
That's
I'm like,
huge.
dude, this is insane.
Yeah, my sister went to a WNBA game in Brooklyn and shit was packed. I was like,
Yeah. I mean, you got
let's
Caitlin
go.
Angel, Cardoso, like you gonna have these seats filled now. So I'm pumped.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, we're headed out there tomorrow. We both do videos. So that's why I just really related to seeing your I Think We're Foodies because I love seeing couples that create content. Like that's one of my like soft spots. So that's why I had to ease in a question there.
Of course, of course. Well, y'all take care. Y'all have a great work gig.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
game. Have a safe travel.
Thank you. You too. Talk soon.
Peace.
Bye-bye.